Hey guys, welcome to the fifth video for Unix tutorials. In this tutorial, I will be going over the Awk command. It's a pretty complex command. It has like C. Its syntax is like a C language, but you should be able to get it. It's pretty common programming language that you can use in there. So Awk, it looks like a command, right? But it's actually you could write some C codes in there to customize whatever you want. So let's say you have a list of files. You have a file that contains the a bunch of numbers, like the prices for let's say Facebook stock, and you're trying to calculate the average, maybe the 5-day average of the Facebook prices, or if you're trying to find the sum, or or any kind of customization that you want to do. Awk is a great way to process like a delimited files, basically. So that command might take some time. We're not sure how long it would take yet, but if we have time, the next command we're going over is the cut command. The cut command basically is the name cut, so it cuts out portions of the file. Okay, so you can really customize how you want to cut it, and how many columns you want to cut, which column you want to cut out, how many characters you're trying to cut out, and so on and so on. And after that, we're gonna do like a word count, the line count in the file, character counts, and etc. etc. And then the last command, which is called the last command, which will tell you like the login history in your machine, basically. Okay, so before that, I want to emphasize. I want to go over my Facebook page again. Okay, so it's facebook.com/FusiCast. Okay, I really appreciate it if you guys can subscribe to it, like it, and then it's easier for me to publish my blogs. So if you guys are interested, if you think that the tutorials are great, I strongly encourage you guys to like the page or subscribe to the my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/UJDesigner85. Okay. Currently I have 13 subscribers. Yay! Yeah, so it's still going. Hopefully I will gain more subscribers. If you guys like it, definitely subscribe to it, so next time you don't have to look for it. Okay, and the next one is the fusicast.com. Okay, so this is the blog. Okay, so this is where I will publish my videos and everything, also on YouTube and as well. But yeah, so this is basically where I publish my blogs. And not just videos. Sometimes I give out tutorials in text, not necessarily videos. So you guys should definitely subscribe or follow me on WordPress. And I also have the Twitter account. It's @FusiCast, so you guys can follow me on there. Also, you will get the latest video updates on all these social media platforms. Okay, so let's get started. So let's clear this. Okay, recently downloaded a file, Facebook prices, where I downloaded from yahoo.com, basically. And if we open that, we see like a bunch of we see the date, the open price, the high price, low price, close price, the volume, and then just the adjusted close price. Okay, so basically we have this is a delimited file, which is where it's delimited by comma. Okay, so what Awk does is Awk can process this file and give you and depends on how you want to program it. You can get the average, you can get the median, the max, the min, and everything. Anything that you can do with the programming language. Well, not anything, but mostly most common stuff, basic stuff you can do in Awk. Okay, so let's introduce Awk. Okay, so the basic syntax of Awk, right, is like this. You have Awk, and you have a -F option where you specify the delimiter. In our case, it's a comma, whereas we see the files, the columns are delimited by comma, basically. Okay, and then we have the single quote, and then the begin. Notice that it's a capitalized begin. This is where you do your initialization. Okay, basically, if you want to initialize variables and such, this is where you do it. Okay, and then you have the main block, the code block, where you will process the file, basically. Okay, and then at the end you have the end block, okay, which is where you do the final processing. Okay, maybe you want to show the sum of, at the end of the file. You don't want to show the sum on every record. And you have this end with the single quote and then the file name. Okay, so that's basically the structure of the awk command. Okay, notice it's very complex. It's like the parameters is maybe there's a lot more parameters than you think. Okay, so now this is what it is. Okay, now so let's introduce this one. So this block, right, the code block, it will be processed for every line. The code block, just the code block here. Sorry. The code block will be executed for every line in the file. Okay, it will be processed for every line in the file. The begin block only get processed once. The end block only get processed once. Okay, but the code block gets executed every time for every line, basically. Okay, and this is where you set the delimiter. Okay, so let's forget. So these are optional. The begin block and the end block, these are all optionals. Okay, so you don't have to put it in there. Okay, so let's do some simple stuff, right? Let's say you just want to print out every line in the file. Pretty simple, right? Okay. So with Facebook, okay. So $0 represents the line itself. So when the awk command goes through every line of the file, okay, $0 stores the value of each line, basically. Okay, so if we press enter right now and we say we want to print $0, okay, what $0 for each line is like $0 for the first line is this value. Okay, $0 for the second line is this value. Second line, third line, fourth line, this is $0. Okay, so $0 represents the whole line, basically. Okay, now if we want to get the first column is the date column. So if we want to get the date column, we could press $1 to get the first column. Okay, if we want to do the second column, okay, $2. Okay, now notice that when we do that, there's no nothing that separates it, right? So what you can do is that you can either put a delimiter yourself. Okay, that's not work. You have to quote them. Any kind of string you have to quote. You have to quote the strings, basically. Okay. So if you want to put pipe delimiter in there, you could do that. Okay. Alternatively, you could do a comma. Okay, comma, which means it's a field separator. So comma is a field separator. What does that do? It separates the field. Okay, so you have a field separator, the output field separator. Okay, by default it's a space, so the default value for output field separator is a space. Okay, now what we can do, we can change that to something else. Okay, so to change that, we can do it. I believe we can do it in here. Output field separator. That's what it is. Okay. Now let's say you want to put pipe in there, right? Okay. Now each command is separated by semicolon, just like the programming language. Most of the programming language, which is separated by each statement is separated by the semicolon. Okay. So now here we just set the output field separator to a pipe. Okay. So if we press enter, you see, now the output separator is a pipe. So that's basically what it is. Okay. So you can have like a for the third field, for the fourth field, and so on and so on. So you get all these, So you can choose which column you want to get, basically. Okay. Now if you want to notice that we have a header, right? Excuse me, we have a header. Maybe you don't want a header. Maybe when you print out you don't want a header, you just want to have the values, right? So what you can do is that before the braces, okay, what you can do is that you can do a condition. Okay, it can be a condition. So it can be a regular expression matching, okay, or it can be any kind of condition. If it's true, this line will be this code block will be executed. Okay, so we can have a condition before it. So we can have a condition here. If the condition is true, this block will be executed. Basically, okay. So let's say we want to get rid of the first row, right? So number of row nr has to be greater than 2. Greater than 1 is fine, actually. Yeah, greater than 1. Okay, so nr is a built-in variable where it changes for every row of the file. Okay, so when the awk processes this line, okay, nr is equal to 1. When the awk processes this line, nr is equal to 2 and 3. nr is 3, nr is 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on and so on. Okay, so here the condition is like the number of row must be greater than 1 for this code block to execute. Okay, so now if we do that, now notice that the first row is not there anymore because we set a condition here. Okay, now let's say you want to just get the this record, this row, right? 2012 May 29th. You just want to get this record. Okay, so what you can do is like the condition can be a regular expression. Okay, so it can be regular expression. So I'm not going to go to too much syntax here. I will have regular expression tutorials in videos. It will be very extensive because I believe regular expression is very, very powerful, very flexible. I love it. You're gonna love it, I promise. Okay, so you put in the regular expression, you put in a pattern, basically a pattern, and if the pattern it matches, if the line contains this pattern, then this code block will be executed. So if we do this, okay, so now you see that you only get one line. Okay, you only get one line. Now we can display all the months, all the records for May if we want. Like, let's say you want to process all the records in May. Okay, so what you can do this, and then it will show all these records here. Okay, so this is something might be handy. Okay, let's say you want to know how many columns are in the this file, right? So if we look at this file, we see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns. Okay, so let's say you want to know like how many columns are in there, right? So what you can do is print out NF. Okay, NF stands for number of fields. Okay, NF. So if we press enter right now, you see it's 77777. Okay, now have we deleted these two fields for the fourth line, 1, 2, 3, 4 for the fourth line? Okay, the fourth one will be show up as 5 because it's it's number of fields based on each line, not based on how many columns in the file. Okay, so if your line only has 5 columns, it will show 5 only. Okay, so this is these are all like built-in variables basically. Okay, now if you want to know what file are you processing, what file this Awk command is processing, you can put in a file name and it will show you what this file, which file it is processing basically. Okay, now had you want to get a value from outside of Awk, let's say you have a variable or environment variable, okay, let's see what environment variable we have. Okay, let's say we want to print out our home directory in the command, right? Our home directory in the command. So what you can do is you can do a single quote, okay, and then a double quote. I'm sorry, it's supposed to be this is double and a single. Yeah, double and single. Double, single. Okay, so we want to print out the home variable. Okay, so double quote, single quote, variable, single quote, double quote, and then we press enter. Okay, now you are able to display variables outside of Awk Command. Okay, so you can pretty much, you know, let's say set a variable called full-C cast, you know, is great, you know, and I want to print that out. I can do this full-C cast. Okay, and then prints out this variable. Okay, so basically that's how you access variables outside of Awk. Okay, let's see what is next. What is next? Okay, so let's go back to regular expression here, right? So let's say we delete this one. We do it differently. Okay, let's do it differently. Okay. And let's say that if, okay, if $1, the first column, okay, matches, okay, the matches, you use the tilde sign, okay, and then slash, and the pattern, which is like 2012 05 slash, okay, and then open braces, then you print all these stuff. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can see it clearly. I'll type it again. I'll type it here. I'll type it this way. Yeah. Okay. You specify the delimiter. Okay. You go to the next line. Okay. So your command don't have to be on the same line. So how you do that? You put a backward escape, the backslash. Then it will allow you to enter command on multiple lines. Okay. So that's what backward slash is for. Okay, now you do a single quote. Okay, it's the same thing, right? You specify your output field separator to be a pipe. Okay, now go to the next line. Okay, just to make it look more readable, basically. Okay, more readable. And then you have a $1 matches 2012 May. Okay, and if it matches, you know, you want to print out, you know, $1, $2, $3, $4. I'm not gonna go for it. You know how it works, so I'm not gonna go forward with that. Okay, now put a backward slash again. Okay, and then the braces, single quote, and then the file name. Okay, so file name. So I'm not sure if this is more readable for you. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But I'm just showing you have the option to write commands on multiple lines. Okay, and it works the same way. Alright, so that's what it is. Now notice that we use a -F and then the comma to specify the delimiter, right? So what we could do is like we could set it in here if we wanted. So to set it the field separator, right, we could specify in fs is equal to comma. Okay, so still you have to remember, right, most of the strings, I believe strings, right, you would really need to put it in double quotes. Okay, don't put it in single quotes because we have a single quote here. So if you put a single quote in here, it will think, you know, it will think that you just ended something here or there. So use a double quote when you want to specify a string. Okay, when you don't have to use double quotes on variables, but for strings, for constants, you have to specify double quotes. Okay, so here it has the same effect. Okay, same effect because I set the field separator to a comma, basically. Okay, and what is next? Let's see. Oh, yes. So let me show you something that I wrote a little bit while ago. If I can get back to it. Yeah. There's a couple times I tried to do something and then I forgot about the command, and so I had to practice it before I give you guys tutorials. Otherwise we'll be wasting some time trying to figure out. So okay, so here, this is the one that where I calculate the average, the sum, you know, and then the closing price basically. Okay, so here's what I did, right? I specified the field separator equal to comma. I initialize, so notice that in the beginning, this is the beginning block, right? So in the beginning block, I specify sum equal to 0 because sum is always 0 when it begins, right? And then I specified count equal to 0. Okay, count is used to calculate the average. So count is actually the count number of days basically. Okay, now I should really delete this one. Okay, but just to show you, right? So in the begin block, right? Like remember we had a we could have a condition. Let me just press enter here. Okay. Let me see condition. Oh. Remember we had this one, right? We have this one. We have the condition, and then braces, and the code block, you know, and the file name, right? This condition has to be right before code block. Okay, you cannot put this condition before begin block. Okay, it will not work. You have to put it right before the code block. Why? Because this condition has to be true for this code block to execute. Okay, so it has to be before the code block basically. Okay, so let's go back to this command again. Maybe I should clear the screen so you guys can get better look at this. Okay, so I set the count equals to 0, and then over here, let's not do this. Let's take this out. Okay, but if I had left it in there, it would just display the last. It would display from line 6 to the end of the file, basically. Okay, but in this case, I don't want to do that. So, okay, now here you specify the if statement. The if statement. Of course, you can have the for loop. You know, if you want to calculate whatever you need to do. You know, but just to keep it simple, I don't want to get into like programming. You know, language. That should be pretty trivial for those programmers. But in this tutorial, I just want to go over Awk command. I'm not going to go over for loop, while loop, you know, for those non-programmers. I'm sorry. I will go over it in the Pro, you know, videos and Java videos, but just not in this Unix videos. Okay. So here the statement is has to be that the number of rows has to be greater or equal to 2. Okay. So basically, it will skip the first line. That's what it does. And then it says a sum is equal to sum plus $5. $5 is the close price, so it will add up all the close prices, and then at the same time it will increment the number of days basically. Okay, and then you have a printf statement. Printf statement is for formatted printing, right? So you have a day, okay, and a percentage d for the numbers, average, percentage. Oh, this should be percentage d. Why is it showing $d? I don't even know. Anyway, and then the percentage d, and then you specify your variables here. Your variable, this is the average, sum divided by count is the average, the sum, and the close price, and everything. So if I press enter, it's missing something. It's missing. Okay. Oh yes. Yes, it's the right close parentheses because I use a printf here. I didn't close it. So if I press enter right now, okay, now you see that, oh, what the, you know, that's because printf doesn't automatically give you the new line character. So you have to put in a new line characters yourself. Okay, now if you do that, okay, now you get the day 1, day 2, day 2, day 8. You have your sum and your average basically. Yeah, this one should not be should be F, not D. I believe that's what it is. Yeah, basically now you got the decimal points. Okay, so you have the sum here, you have your average here, okay, and you have the closing price. Okay, So you can calculate yourself. You want to verify that that is correct or not, up to yourself. All right. Okay, so this is basically briefly going over what Awk does. Okay, so this is Awk. Okay, to find more, to learn more about it, there's a lot of resources online. You can search for Awk tutorials online, but I'm just gonna give you a general, overview of it. Okay, most cases, when you need more flexibility, you will use Awk. Okay, but most of the time, when people try to calculate the average, they will use a programming language to do that. But just to learn some basic stuff in Awk, maybe show off to your friends or coworkers how cool it is and stuff like that. So yeah, let me see how many times I have right now. I don't want to go over. Okay, so 25. Okay, so I still have I can still go over a little bit more. So let's go to the cut command. Right, cut command is very similar to Awk in the way that you can display different columns. You can pick whatever column you want to display, or you want to display whatever characters you want to display. So that's what the cut does. Okay, so let's go over this. So cut, okay, that's the command. Minus D for the delimiter, in our case is a comma, right? Minus F for fields, okay, like field 1, okay, or 2, field 2, field 3. Okay, so fields are separated by comma, basically. Okay. When I say I don't mean the output. Okay, so let's see. Maybe the output will make more sense for you when you see the output. Okay, so basically, yeah, field 1, field 2, field 3, basically. Okay, so what if you want to display the field 1 to field 4? Right, you wouldn't want to do 3, 4, 5, or maybe field 1 to 100. You wouldn't want to do that, right? So you can do field 1 hyphen 4. Okay, and then we'll display the first 4 columns. Okay, you could also do the so this is basically a range, right? Maybe you can do 3 to 5, so you display column 3 to column 5, basically. Okay, now if you want to display from the first column to the 5th column, okay, now if you don't specify a beginning, the starting column, it will default to first column. Basically, in here, I did not specify the starting column, right? So it will default to the first column. So if I press enter, it will display the first 5 columns. Okay. Now, if I don't specify the ending column, okay, if I just do 5 and then minus, and I don't specify which column to end at, it will default to the last column. Okay, so if I press now, it will display 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so this is the kind of the range that you can basically play with, sort of. Okay, so you could mix and match, right? You can do column 1 and then 5 and then all the way to the end, and you see this basically. Alright, so this is the cut command. Yes, I forgot to show you the characters, right? So for characters, for number of characters you want to display, right? Obviously you don't need delimiter, because you just want to display characters. So what you can do minus C for characters, and let's say from 10th character to 20th character. Okay, press enter, it will display the 10th character to the 20th character, basically. Okay, so this is how you display a different number of characters in there, basically. And you can do I believe you can do one, the first character, and then I don't know why would you want to do that, but maybe sometimes you need you don't know, there's no special delimiter that you can use, so you might want to use that. Okay, so this is the cut command, basically. So let's say you want to do so the next command is called the line count, word count, WC, word count. Okay, so let's say you want to do you want to see how many lines are in the file. So you can do WC minus L for a line, right? You want to count the lines. Okay, and then you input with the file you want to find out. So this file has 9 lines. 9 lines. I'm sorry, my English is really bad. I'm Chinese, so excuse me. Okay. You can also specify in the first parameter of the command. Okay, in this case it will show you the line number and the file name. Okay, now the line count is usually very useful to like check, like, maybe you want to check like if there's any error return in the log file, right? You go to a log file, you look for special keywords, you look for lines that contain the special keywords like error or exception, right? And then you want to see like how many lines are there that contains these special keywords. And then if there's 0 lines that contain these keywords, that means the job ran successfully. If there's like 1 line that contains this keyword, that means the job failed somewhere. Okay, so this line count is pretty useful for that. Okay, now by default, if you don't specify anything, okay, if you don't specify anything, it will show you the number of lines in there. Okay, second, it will show you the I believe, what was the second? Let me see. I'm sorry, I don't use that one often. Or words. Okay, so number of words in there. Okay, and then the third one shows you number of bytes. Okay, so have we do the trying to figure out how many the size of the FB price. See, this is the byte. Okay, so that's what the default is. But let's say you want to find out how many bytes are in there, right? So you can do -c. Okay, -c and then FB price, and then we get 445. Okay, had you wanted to find out the number of words, okay, -w. Okay, and then give you the number of words in there. Okay. So how about the characters? Number of characters, right? Number of characters. Oops. Number of characters. Okay, in this case, because it's ASCII, one character is basically 1 byte, so it's equivalent to number of characters, basically. Okay. The last command, I guess we have time for this. The last command was literally the last command. This is what it is. Okay, the last command shows you the list of all the logins in the past. Okay, my system, it's a local system, so nobody really log in except for me, so that's why you don't see it. But in a working environment, you have multiple users log into a single Unix machine, and you have like a history of like logins from different users, basically. Okay, so this is what last is for. Okay, now if you want to see if you don't want to see the whole complete history, you can do like specify number of records to display. Okay, with the last -100 will show you the last 100 logins. Basically show you like who logged in the last 100 logins. Okay, in my case it's a local system, that's why you don't see 100, you only see 2-3 records. That's because it's a local system, but again, if you're in the working environment, you will see a lot more. Okay, lastly, you can do a -F to get a very broad view. Like this one, right? It just show you like a May 16th 1936 to 1838, right? But of course it shows you like the difference between the login time. This is the login time, this is the log out time. Okay, so it just tells you the difference between the login and logout time. In here it actually tells you which day it was login. It also show you like the event, right? The system was rebooted, basically started up and rebooted, since when, blah blah blah. Okay, so it was rebooted in May 16th up to now, basically. Okay, so that's what it is, basically. All right, so this concludes the tutorial for this video tutorial. In the next tutorial, I will be going over a couple other commands, such as diff, checking differences between two files. Although I will use vim diff. If you guys haven't watched my vim editor tutorials yet, I really strongly recommend that you guys watch it, because it's vim once you master it, you will love it. You will love it definitely. Okay, because even though it's so old, it's still like there's still like continuous development on that basically. Okay, I'll show you next time. I'll show you how to look for special keywords, special key terms in a file, with different regular expressions and so on and so on. I will show you how to find files, find files by find files that are 5 days or older, 5 days or younger, find files that have the specific permission set, find files that are owned by different groups, specific group, find files that are owned by different specific owners, and so on and so on. Like this find command is basically very useful, very flexible on like how you want to find, and also you can execute commands on whatever you found basically. Okay, so stay tuned. Unix tutorials, I'm guessing it will go up to at least 10 videos, so you will see Unix 1.10. okay, and then by then you will probably go into shell scripting basically, and you will find that shell scripting is a wonderful thing. I'll also show you how to schedule different jobs in Unix. So basically whatever I know, I will put it in there. I will teach you guys basically. Alright, so stay tuned. And I started to put in ads in my video just to get some make this process more sweeter for me. Makes it more exciting that I'm earning some money. But just a sneak peek, I'm earning $8 right now. But don't be fooled, because some of them are actually I go on there and I click a little bit, but most of the time usually I earn like 10 cents a day basically. But I would really appreciate it if you guys can click on the ads, help me buy me a cup of coffee or whatever, even though I don't drink coffee, but hey, I can buy some other stuff. So yeah, make sure to subscribe. Alright, again subscribe to my Facebook page, my YouTube channel, my WordPress, and my Twitter account. Okay, alright, thanks guys. See you next time.